Welcome to this book summary of The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. In this video, we'll be breaking down each chapter of the book to help you gain a better understanding of how your psychology affects your financial decisions. If you enjoy this video, be sure to check out the link in the description below to purchase the book for yourself. Chapter 1, No One's Crazy. The author highlights the fact that there is no one-size-fits-all approach to financial management, and that it is important to understand and respect the different factors that influence each person's financial behavior. The chapter begins with a story about a woman named Lisa who decides to quit her stable job and start her own business. Many of Lisa's friends and family think she is crazy for leaving a secure job with a steady income, but Lisa believes that she has a great business idea and is willing to take the risk to pursue it. The author uses this example to illustrate how Lisa's decision may seem irrational to some, but in reality, it is based on her unique circumstances and personal values. The author goes on to explain that financial decisions are influenced by a variety of factors such as upbringing, culture, education, and personal experiences. For example, someone who grew up in a household that struggled with money may have a different perspective on financial stability than someone who grew up in a wealthy household. Similarly, someone who has experienced a financial crisis such as job loss or bankruptcy may approach financial decisions differently than someone who has not. The chapter also emphasizes the importance of empathy and understanding when it comes to financial conversations. Instead of judging others for their financial decisions, it is important to try to understand their perspective and the factors that led them to make those decisions. By doing so, we can learn from each other and make better financial decisions ourselves. Chapter 2, Luck and Risk. The author begins by explaining that luck and risk are often intertwined, and that it is important to understand the difference between the two. Luck is defined as an event that is out of our control, while risk is defined as an event that has an uncertain outcome. The author stresses that while we cannot control luck, we can manage risk by taking steps to minimize the impact of negative events. Housel uses a variety of examples to illustrate the role that luck and risk play in our financial lives. He discusses how someone who invests in the stock market may experience a significant gain or loss based on external factors such as market trends or global events. Similarly, someone who starts their own business may be impacted by factors such as competition, consumer demand, and economic conditions. The author also emphasizes the importance of recognizing the role that luck plays in our financial success. He notes that while hard work and determination are important, there are often external factors that contribute to our success that are beyond our control. For example, someone who is born into a wealthy family may have more financial opportunities and resources than someone who is not. Throughout the chapter, the author encourages readers to take a balanced approach to managing risk. He notes that while it is important to take calculated risks in order to achieve financial success, it is also important to have a safety net in place in case things do not go as planned. This may include having an emergency fund, investing in a diverse range of assets, and purchasing insurance. Chapter 3, Never Enough. The chapter begins by discussing how our desires and expectations for material possessions and financial security are often influenced by external factors such as advertising, societal norms, and peer pressure. The author notes that this constant pressure to accumulate more wealth and possessions can lead to a mentality of never enough, where we are never satisfied with what we have and always want more. Housel uses a variety of examples to illustrate how the never-enough mentality can impact our financial decisions. He discusses how someone who is constantly chasing after the next big purchase or financial milestone may overlook the value of experiences and relationships. Similarly, someone who is too focused on accumulating wealth may neglect their physical and mental health, leading to long-term financial consequences. The author emphasizes the importance of finding a balance between enjoying the present and planning for the future. He notes that while it is important to save and invest for the future, it is also important to enjoy the present moment and prioritize experiences over possessions. By doing so, we can avoid the trap of constantly wanting more and instead find contentment in what we already have. Throughout the chapter, the author also encourages readers to focus on their values and priorities when making financial decisions. He notes that by aligning our financial goals with our personal values, we can create a sense of purpose and fulfillment that goes beyond material possessions. Chapter 4, Confounding Compounding. The chapter begins by defining compounding interest as the process of earning interest on interest. The author explains that compounding interest can be a powerful tool for growing wealth over time, but it can also work against us when we accumulate debt with high interest rates. Haussle uses a variety of examples to illustrate the mechanics of compounding interest. He discusses how someone who invests a small amount of money at a young age can potentially accumulate a significant amount of wealth over time due to the power of compounding interest. Similarly, someone who accumulates credit card debt with high interest rates can quickly find themselves in a difficult financial situation due to the compounding effect of interest charges. The author emphasizes the importance of understanding the impact of compounding interest on our financial decisions. He notes that while it can be tempting to focus on short-term gains or savings, it is important to consider the long-term impact of interest rates on our finances. Throughout the chapter, the author also provides practical tips for maximizing the benefits of compounding interest. He notes that by starting to save and invest early, diversifying investments, and avoiding high-interest debt, we can harness the power of compounding interest to grow our wealth over time. Chapter 5: Getting Wealthy versus Staying Wealthy. The chapter begins by discussing how achieving wealth is often viewed as the ultimate goal, but maintaining wealth is equally important. The author notes that many people who achieve wealth quickly may not have the necessary skills or knowledge to manage their finances effectively, leading to financial instability in the long run. Haussle uses a variety of examples to illustrate the importance of managing wealth effectively. He discusses how someone who inherits a large sum of money may be tempted to spend it all quickly, without considering the long-term impact on their financial stability. Similarly, someone who achieves wealth through a successful business may struggle to manage their finances effectively if they lack financial literacy or the support of a financial advisor. The author emphasizes the importance of making smart financial decisions and managing wealth effectively to ensure long-term financial stability. He notes that this involves a combination of financial literacy, discipline, and a willingness to seek out advice from experts when needed. Throughout the chapter, the author also provides practical tips for managing wealth effectively. He notes that by creating a budget, diversifying investments, and avoiding debt, we can increase our chances of maintaining wealth over the long term. Chapter 6: Tails, You Win. The chapter begins by defining tail events as rare, extreme events that have a significant impact on our finances. Haussle notes that while these events are unpredictable, they can have a profound impact on our financial stability if we are not prepared for them. Haussle uses a variety of examples to illustrate the impact of tail events on our finances. He discusses how events such as natural disasters, market crashes, and unexpected job loss can have a significant impact on our financial well-being. He notes that while we can't predict these events, we can prepare for them by building a financial safety net. The author emphasizes the importance of diversification and risk management in preparing for tail events. He notes that by diversifying investments, creating an emergency fund, and purchasing insurance, we can minimize the impact of these events on our finances. Throughout the chapter, the author also provides practical tips for preparing for tail events. He notes that by staying informed about current events, having a plan for unexpected expenses, and avoiding excessive debt, we can increase our chances of financial stability in the face of tail events. Chapter 7: Freedom. The chapter begins by defining financial freedom as the ability to live the life we want without being constrained by financial limitations. Haussle notes that financial freedom can take many different forms, depending on our individual goals and priorities. The author discusses the different forms of financial freedom, including freedom from debt, freedom to choose how we work and live, and freedom to pursue our passions and interests. He notes that while these forms of financial freedom may look different for each person, they are all rooted in the idea of having control over our financial lives. Haussle emphasizes the importance of taking proactive steps to achieve financial freedom. He notes that this involves a combination of financial literacy, discipline, and a willingness to make sacrifices in the short term for long-term financial stability. Throughout the chapter, the author also provides practical tips for achieving financial freedom. He notes that by creating a budget, living below our means, and investing in our future, we can increase our chances of achieving financial freedom over time. Chapter 8: Man in the Car Paradox. The chapter begins by discussing how our perceptions of wealth and success are often shaped by comparisons to others. The author notes that we tend to focus on those who have more than us, rather than those who have less, leading to a sense of financial dissatisfaction and a desire for more. Haussle introduces the concept of the man in the car paradox, which refers to the tendency to compare ourselves to those who are driving nicer cars than us, rather than those who are walking or taking public transportation. He notes that this paradox can lead to a never-ending cycle of comparison and dissatisfaction, as there will always be someone who has more than us. The author emphasizes the importance of focusing on our own financial goals and priorities, rather than comparing ourselves to others. He notes that by defining our own definition of financial success and working towards those goals, we can achieve greater satisfaction and financial stability. Throughout the chapter, the author also provides practical tips for avoiding the man in the car paradox. He notes that by practicing gratitude, avoiding excessive debt, and focusing on experiences over possessions, we can increase our sense of financial satisfaction and fulfillment. Chapter 9: Wealth is What You Don't See. The chapter begins by discussing how our perceptions of wealth are often influenced by external factors such as material possessions and social status. The author notes that while these factors may contribute to our sense of wealth, they do not necessarily equate to true financial security and stability. Haussle introduces the concept of wealth that you don't see, which refers to the hidden aspects of financial security and stability that are often overlooked. He notes that true wealth is not just about the material possessions we accumulate, but also the financial habits and practices that contribute to long-term stability and peace of mind. The author emphasizes the importance of developing good financial habits and practices in order to achieve true wealth. He notes that this involves a combination of financial literacy, discipline, and a willingness to make sacrifices in the short term for long-term financial stability. Throughout the chapter, the author also provides practical examples of wealth that you don't see. He notes that by creating an emergency fund, investing in retirement accounts, and avoiding excessive debt, we can achieve greater financial security and stability over the long term. Chapter 10: Save Money. The chapter begins by discussing the importance of saving money as a key component of building wealth. The author notes that saving money can be challenging, especially in a culture that values consumption and instant gratification. Haussle provides practical tips for saving money, including creating a budget, automating savings, and avoiding lifestyle inflation. He notes that by setting clear financial goals and developing good financial habits, we can increase our chances of success. The author emphasizes the importance of starting small and building up savings over time. He notes that even small savings contributions can add up over time and lead to greater financial stability in the long run. Throughout the chapter, the author also provides practical examples of ways to save money, such as reducing expenses on food and housing, shopping around for better deals on insurance and other services, and avoiding unnecessary purchases. Chapter 11: Reasonable More Than Rational. The chapter begins by discussing the difference between rational and reasonable financial decisions. The author notes that while rational decisions are based solely on logic and data, reasonable decisions take into account our emotions and biases. Haussle emphasizes the importance of recognizing our emotions and biases when making financial decisions. He notes that our emotions can lead us to make impulsive decisions or become overly attached to certain investments, while our biases can lead us to overlook important information or take unnecessary risks. The author provides practical examples of how emotions and biases can impact our financial decisions, such as the fear of missing out, FOMO, or the overconfidence bias. He notes that by recognizing these biases and managing our emotions, we can make more reasonable financial decisions that align with our long-term goals. Throughout the chapter, the author also provides practical tips for managing emotions and biases, such as taking a step back before making a decision, seeking out diverse perspectives, and avoiding excessive risk-taking. Chapter 12: Surprise. The chapter begins by discussing how unexpected events such as job loss, medical emergencies, or natural disasters can have a significant impact on our finances. The author notes that while we can't predict these events, we can prepare for them by building a financial safety net. Haussle provides practical tips for preparing for financial surprises, such as creating an emergency fund, purchasing insurance, and avoiding excessive debt. He notes that by taking proactive steps to manage risk, we can increase our chances of financial stability in the face of unexpected events. The author also emphasizes the importance of coping with financial surprises in a healthy and constructive way. He notes that it's important to seek out support from friends and family, prioritize our needs over wants, and avoid making impulsive decisions. Throughout the chapter, the author provides practical examples of how to cope with financial surprises, such as creating a plan for managing unexpected expenses, exploring alternative income sources, and seeking out professional financial advice when needed. Chapter 13, Room for Error. Haussle begins the chapter by sharing a story about his friend who had meticulously planned out his finances and retirement. However, a series of unexpected events, including a health scare and a market downturn, left him with significantly less money than he had anticipated. Haussle uses this story to illustrate the importance of leaving room for error in our financial plans. He then goes on to explain how we can create this financial cushion. One way is by building an emergency fund, which is a separate savings account specifically for unexpected expenses like car repairs or medical bills. Haussle recommends having at least 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses saved in this fund. Another way to leave room for error is by being conservative in our financial projections. Haussle encourages readers to assume that things will cost more and take longer than they initially think. This way, if unexpected expenses or setbacks do occur, we won't be thrown completely off course. Haussle also emphasizes the importance of having insurance, whether it's health insurance, home insurance, or disability insurance. These policies can help protect us from financial ruin in the event of a catastrophic event. Throughout the chapter, Haussle stresses that leaving room for error is not about being pessimistic or living in fear. Rather, it's about being realistic and acknowledging that unexpected things can and will happen. By having a financial cushion in place, we can weather these storms without completely derailing our long-term plans. Chapter 14, You'll Change. Haussle begins the chapter by acknowledging that our financial goals and priorities can shift as we go through different stages of life. For example, what we prioritize in our 20s may not be the same as what we prioritize in our 40s or 50s. He stresses that this is normal and that our financial journeys are not linear. Haussle encourages readers to regularly reassess their financial goals and priorities and make adjustments as necessary. He suggests asking ourselves questions like, what's important to me right now, and what do I want my money to do for me? This can help us stay aligned with our values and make informed decisions about our finances. The author also discusses the importance of being flexible and adaptable in our financial plans. Unexpected events like a job loss, a medical emergency, or a global pandemic can force us to pivot and adjust our plans. Haussle emphasizes that being able to adapt to these changes is key to long-term financial success. Haussle shares several examples of people who have had to adjust their financial plans due to changing circumstances. One woman, for instance, had planned to retire early but ended up going back to work after her husband's business struggled. Another man had planned to pay off his mortgage early but decided to invest the money instead after realizing he could earn a higher return. Throughout the chapter, Haussle emphasizes that being open to change and willing to adapt is crucial in our financial journeys. By regularly reassessing our goals and priorities and being flexible in our plans, we can stay on track and achieve financial success, even in the face of unexpected challenges. Chapter 15, Nothing's Free. Haussle begins the chapter by pointing out that many things in life that appear to be free come with hidden costs. For example, credit card rewards may seem like a great perk, but they often come with high interest rates and fees that can quickly add up. Similarly, investment fees may seem small, but they can eat away at our returns over time. Haussle emphasizes the importance of being aware of these hidden costs and making informed financial decisions. He suggests doing research and reading the fine print before signing up for credit cards or investment accounts. He also encourages readers to ask questions and understand exactly what they're paying for. The author goes on to discuss several common hidden costs in the financial world, including transaction fees, management fees, and performance fees. He explains how these fees can impact our returns and offers tips for minimizing them. Haussle also discusses the concept of opportunity cost, the cost of what we give up in order to pursue something else. For example, if we spend money on a luxury item, we may be giving up the opportunity to invest that money and earn a higher return over time. Haussle encourages readers to consider the opportunity cost of their financial decisions and make choices that align with their long-term goals. Throughout the chapter, Haussle stresses that nothing is truly free in the financial world. Everything comes with a cost, whether it's hidden or not. By being aware of these costs and making informed decisions, we can maximize our returns and achieve financial success. Chapter 16, You and Me. Haussle begins the chapter by acknowledging that it's natural to compare ourselves to others, especially when it comes to money. However, he stresses that this can be detrimental to our financial well-being. Comparing ourselves to others can lead us to make decisions that are not in line with our own goals and values. The author emphasizes the importance of understanding our own financial situations and goals. He encourages readers to ask themselves questions like, what do I want my money to do for me? And what are my long-term financial goals? By understanding our own priorities, we can make informed decisions about our finances and avoid getting caught up in comparisons with others. Haussle also discusses the concept of lifestyle creep, the tendency to increase our spending as our income increases. He encourages readers to be aware of this phenomenon and make conscious decisions about how to use their money. The author emphasizes that there is no one-size-fits-all approach to personal finance. What works for one person may not work for another. He encourages readers to focus on their own financial journeys and make decisions that align with their personal values and priorities. Throughout the chapter, Haussle stresses that comparing ourselves to others can be a slippery slope. By focusing on our own financial situations and goals, we can make informed decisions and achieve long-term financial success. Chapter 17, The Seduction of Pessimism. Haussle begins the chapter by acknowledging that it's easy to fall into a pessimistic mindset, especially during times of financial uncertainty. He points out that the news media often focuses on negative events and can create a sense of doom and gloom. However, the author emphasizes that letting pessimism guide our financial decisions can be dangerous. Pessimism can lead us to make impulsive decisions or avoid investing altogether, which can hurt our long-term financial prospects. Haussle encourages readers to focus on the long term and stay optimistic about the future. He points out that, historically, the stock market has always recovered from downturns and continued to grow over the long term. By staying invested and maintaining a long-term perspective, we can ride out short-term market fluctuations and achieve our financial goals. The author also discusses the concept of risk and how it can be tempting to avoid risk altogether during uncertain times. However, he emphasizes that avoiding risk can actually be riskier in the long term, as it can lead to missed opportunities for growth. Haussle encourages readers to focus on what they can control, such as their savings rate and investment strategy, rather than worrying about external factors like market fluctuations or economic uncertainty. He emphasizes that by staying optimistic and focused on long-term goals, we can achieve financial success despite short-term setbacks. Throughout the chapter, Haussle stresses that while it's natural to feel pessimistic during uncertain times, it's important to stay optimistic and focused on the long term. By maintaining a long-term perspective and making informed financial decisions, we can achieve our goals and build a secure financial future. Chapter 18, When You'll Believe Anything. Haussle begins the chapter by pointing out that humans are wired to respond to stories. This can be a powerful tool in marketing and advertising, as well as in politics and finance. However, he warns that stories can also be used to manipulate us and influence our financial decisions. The author discusses several common financial narratives, such as get-rich-quick schemes and the idea that there is a secret to investing success. He encourages readers to be skeptical of these narratives and do their own research before making investment decisions. Haussle emphasizes the importance of understanding the underlying data and facts behind financial stories. He suggests looking at historical data and trends, as well as considering multiple sources of information. By doing our own research and being critical of financial narratives, we can make informed decisions and avoid falling for scams or bad investments. The author also discusses the concept of confirmation bias, the tendency to seek out information that confirms our existing beliefs and ignore information that contradicts them. He encourages readers to be aware of this bias and actively seek out information that challenges their assumptions. Throughout the chapter, Haussle stresses the importance of being skeptical and doing our own research when it comes to financial decisions. By being critical of financial narratives and understanding the underlying data, we can make informed decisions and avoid falling victim to scams or bad investments. Chapter 19, All Together Now. Haussle begins the chapter by pointing out that financial decisions don't exist in a vacuum. They can have broader societal implications, both positive and negative. For example, investing in companies that prioritize sustainability can have a positive impact on the environment, while investing in companies with poor labor practices can have a negative impact on workers. The author encourages readers to consider the social and environmental impact of their financial decisions. He suggests looking at companies' environmental, social, and governance (ESG) practices when making investment decisions, as well as considering the impact of our spending habits on the broader community. Haussle also discusses the concept of externalities, the unintended consequences of our financial decisions that impact others. For example, driving a car may be convenient for us, but it can contribute to air pollution and climate change, which impacts others. He encourages readers to consider the externalities of their financial decisions and make choices that minimize harm to others. The author also emphasizes the importance of advocacy and activism in promoting positive social and environmental change. He suggests using our financial power to support companies and organizations that align with our values, as well as advocating for policy changes that promote sustainability and social justice. Throughout the chapter, Haussle stresses the importance of considering the broader societal impact of our financial decisions. By making choices that align with our values and prioritize social and environmental sustainability, we can create positive change and contribute to a better world. Chapter 20, Confessions. In Chapter 20, Haussle shares some personal financial confessions from his own life. He admits to making mistakes like overspending on cars and underestimating the importance of saving for retirement. He encourages readers to be honest with themselves about their own financial habits and mistakes. Haussle emphasizes the importance of learning from our mistakes and making changes where necessary. He suggests taking a holistic approach to personal finance, considering not just our spending and saving habits, but also our values and priorities. The author also discusses the importance of financial education and literacy. He suggests seeking out resources such as books, podcasts, and courses to improve our financial knowledge and skills. Haussle encourages readers to prioritize their financial well-being, even if it means making difficult choices or facing uncomfortable truths. He emphasizes that small changes can add up over time and lead to significant improvements in our financial futures. Throughout the chapter, Haussle emphasizes the importance of honesty and self-awareness in personal finance. By being honest with ourselves about our financial habits and mistakes, we can make positive changes and achieve long-term financial success. Thank you for watching this book summary of The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more book summaries. And don't forget to check out the link in the description below to purchase the book for yourself.